Hi guys, Debbie here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So today's video is going to be the fourth in the series I'm doing this week using the Alyssa Edwards and Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. So this one, and in yesterday's video I said that I was going to do something a little bit more technical, but I'm really not feeling that today because it's like 30 degrees heat and really hot and humid today. So thought I'd do something a little bit more blended and neutral and use some of the darker tones that are in the palette. So I'm going to play with some of these warm shades here, or those three. Probably play with the white and maybe the brown that's in there, just to create something a little bit more on the neutral side out of the palette, because it is a versatile palette and I think it would create some really nice neutral looks. So that's what I'm going to do today. Nothing too complicated. I'll save anything that might be a little bit more complicated for the last video tomorrow, and hope that it's a little bit cooler by then. Okay, so I'll scooch you in and we'll get started. So I've already primed my lids using the MAC Painterly paint pot. I'm just going to go in and set them today. I've just got some loose powder. Just going to set them down. There isn't really, for me in the palette, kind of my lid colour shade, like a setting your lids shade, because they're all a little bit darker than me, or the shade is white, which will be too stark for what I'm looking for. So just setting my lids with powder. I always used to do this back in the day, haven't done it for a long time, but again I want to see how the shadows perform over a set base. I've tried a sticky base, I've tried all different things with them, so I thought it might be good to try. So I'm going to start off looking kind of a traditional way. So I'm going to go in with this shade, which is the Supreme. So I'm going to go in with that just in my crease area, just on a nice big fluffy blending brush. It's definitely easier to blend these on a set base. And they are pretty pigmented anyway, so I think that might be the way to go with the mattes, unless you're intending to do something graphic that you don't want to blend out too much. I love the tones of that one though, it's really peachy toned. That is a beautiful transition actually, really nice. Just taking that down onto my lower lash line as well. And then to build a bit more definition in the crease now, going with the next darkest colour I'm going to use, which is this one, which is the shade Home. I'm just going to take that one slightly lower in the crease. Not made a ton of difference, it's just deepened things up a little bit in the crease area. But it is layering okay. For the lower lash, I'm just waiting until I've not got so much product on the brush, and then just dragging what I've got left on the brush underneath. And then smaller brush again, and I'm going into the brown, which is called Back Rolls, and apply that into the outer V. Just pat that on initially, and then I'm going to take that into the lower part of my crease, so nearer to my eyelid space. But I'm not taking it all the way in, I want sort of deepest to be on the outer corner. It's really starting to build up that smokiness in the outer corner now. I'll just swap brush for the lower lash line. I'm just going to use a smudge brush just to bring some of that brown down onto my lower lash line, but fairly close to my lashes. And using the remainder of the product that's on the fluffier brush, I'm just going to blend out underneath that. And I'm going to go in with the shade Beast, so the black in the palette. That very sparingly, but to deepen up the outer V. And then back into the original fluffy brush that we started with, just to make sure everything's blended before I go in with the shimmer shade. So I'm going to use the NYX glitter glue for my lids. I think I've just sprayed the brush so far using the shimmers in this palette, so I wanted to see how that works. So I'm just applying the glue mainly to the centre and the front part of my lid. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Inspire. Where that Inspire shade meets the brown there, decided I'll put a little bit of the pink shade in there, which is called Beyond. And I'm just going to blend back and forwards in my crease just to soften that line between the shimmer and the mattes there. Okay, so I'm just going to do the other eye. So same thing, glitter glue into the lid there, but stopping about 2/3 of the way across, kind of almost creating a faux cut crease with the glitter, with the glitter glue, should I say. And then again, just where the shimmer meets the mattes, I'm just tucking that Beyond shade, the pinky shimmer. That is a really beautiful colour. And again, just blending any harsh edges of that, because I don't want it to be a cut crease. Because I'm loving that pink shade so much, I think I'll bring some of that into that space in my lower lash line. So again, using that shimmer shade Beyond. So much prettier on the eyes than it is in the pan as well. Just sprayed that with some Fix Plus because I don't like putting glitter glue on my lower lash line. Okay, so that's what we've got right now. I'm going to hop off camera, do some liner, not a wing liner, just liner across the top of my lids, do some mascara, choose lipstick for the look, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so here's the finished look. And I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I could get a neutral look out of the shades in this palette. So that shade Inspire, that one on my lids, it's come out super beautiful. I'd only ever used it on my lower lashes just very sparingly before, and I wanted to use it on my lids today, and it really does look nice. I love the shade Beyond. I think that's probably one of my favourites in the palette, and I always love the shimmer formula from Anastasia. The mattes are fab, but I always love the shimmers. So those two I love. I love the tones of that colour, the Supreme. I always like a warm crease, and to echo that warm crease, I've brought in this, which is the Urban Decay 24/7 liner in Torch, just into my waterline, just to kind of bring the look a bit more cohesive together. And my thoughts on the other shades I've used, back rolls, had no problem layering that over the top of the shades that I'd used to build up the intensity in the outer corner. Also used the shade Ho, which I have used in another look before, and could do with being like slightly deeper, so it was between that colour and that colour, but slightly darker, then it would make a better transition, I think. But it is a beautiful shade, and different tones completely to the shade the Supreme. So the black is a nice black. It's not sort of really powdery black, so that's good. It's not the most pigmented black in the world, but it has no fallout really, and it did the job, and it's quite easy to blend out, so not mad at that one. So yeah, I enjoyed the shades that I've used out of it today, and it shows that you can make a completely neutral or neutralish look from the palette, which perhaps you might not think so when you first look at it because your eyes are drawn to the purples and the pinks, so I know mine were. On my upper lashes, I decided to line with brown rather than black just to keep the sort of brown smoky feel going. So I've got the Kat Von D Tattoo liner here in the colour Mad Max Brown. It's a great alternative to black sometimes to just soften the look a little bit. And then for my lipstick, I've gone with Urban Decay one. It's one of their sheer lipsticks. It's called Sheer Shame. In the tube it looks like it would be really dark and quite scary, but then when you get it on your lips it's sheer and it's glossy and it's really pretty. So I think it's echoing the tones quite well from the sort of raspberry tones in the look. So I'm pleased with how this one turned out. It's a lot more neutral than I normally go for. For a lot of people this wouldn't be neutral at all, but for me this is kind of more neutral than I'm used to doing, but really enjoyed doing it. So hope you, if you're a neutral colour lover or you're dipping your toes into colour, I hope this one inspired you, or just to see something different that you can create from the palette to maybe what other people have been doing, because I've seen a lot of blues and purples kind of looks done with this, and I've done some of those myself, so it's nice to just see something different done with the palette, I think. So hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, I've got one more episode with this palette coming up. Hopefully it'll be going up tomorrow. I've got to see how things go. So we've got company this weekend, so I don't want to be spending all my time in my filming room and not being sociable, but I will try and get that one up because I made a commitment to get 5 looks done this week with this palette, and I'd like to do that for you guys. And then I'll be taking a break from doing one whole palette the following week and doing something different. But thank you for all the love so far on the series. I've loved the comments that I've been seeing regarding it, that you guys are inspired and you want to play with this palette some more if you've got it. So that's kind of it for today. So I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Bye.